Introducing Jete Vaughn, the global public speaker. Who am I? I'm a business owner. I'm the founder of Blurred Experiences. Blurred Experiences, we are a storytelling media company where we blend fun and educational training sessions to allow businesses, private clients, and beyond success. I'm also a registered nurse with an advanced practice degree, and I've been traveling for the last 7 years in healthcare. That's a little bit about me. Next slide, please. Trigger warning. This is a mental health topic. Please take note that this information presented here is intended solely for educational purposes. If you or someone you know requires emergency mental health services, please seek out care within your area. Next slide, please. These are some resources. For the United States, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-7273-TALK or 8255. Or you can text TALK to 741-741. And for those that are in the UAE, there's also a support line. Is plus 971-1-800-HOPE or 4673. You can also WhatsApp that as well. Next, the outline of the presentation, we're going to talk about the 5 R's, which is ruination, running, retaliation, restoration, replay, thank you, and contact. Next slide, please. Introduction. To make it fun to follow, I will break down my presentation into 5 parts using the 5 R's. Why are the 5 R's so fun for me? Because during the very early stages of my speech impediment, R's were one of the hardest sounds to pronounce. So to overcome that and to be able to use it with ease was something that I was very proud of. Next slide, please. Will not walk, talk, or read. That little girl right there, that little baby, that's what I was told at a very early age, that I would never walk, talk, or read. So you take a moment at this baby. She's come a long way. Next slide, please. Ruination narrative is what I just spoke of, is overcoming the negative prophecies over your life. Have you ever had a negative prophecy being spoken over your life? In my case, the doctors predicted I would never walk, talk, or let alone go beyond a primary education. However, I proved them wrong. Next slide. Did anyone here grow up with a nickname? And if so, what was it? And can you guess mine? I'll give you guys a few seconds in the chat if you want to participate. Sorry, just a little technical difficulty. Okay. Mine was Elmer Fudd. Yes, it was that bad. A childhood nickname with lasting impact. Growing up with a severe speech impediment, I was given the nickname Elmer Fudd, which caused me deep distress. To cope with the shame and the trauma I experienced privately, I became an overachiever, striving to escape those feelings of unease. Next slide, please. Retaliation narrative. Conquering challenges through prayer, practice, and perseverance. In the face of adversity, my grandfather was my biggest supporter. He helped finance my private school education and arranged for me to receive private speech therapy, which I did diligently practice using a notebook that was provided. Through prayer, patience, and hard work, I eventually made significant progress. One of my first steps towards conquering my speech impediment was giving a public speech at church, which was a defining moment in my life. And I recited the passage, "Your sins will find you out." So I had that one in Hebrews 11:1 because at the church at the time, all the kids had to participate in church. So we always had to have a scripture in our heart. So those are my two scriptures in my heart. Next slide, please. In addition to the primary method, I also incorporated helpful techniques such as music therapy, art therapy, and deep breathing exercises. Music therapy actually helped me because I learned that once I knew the words that were coming, it reduced the anxiety. And it didn't get rid of the speech impediment, but it drastically reduced the repetitive wording that I really struggled with. Art therapy allowed me my safe place, my happy place. It was a judgment-free zone. And deep breathing was after I had an episode, I would do some deep breathing exercise to kind of come back because it's very embarrassing, especially when you're really young and kids are making fun of you. Next slide, please. Retaliation narrative continues. Discovered my voice through writing and the importance of a space for so fun. After finding my voice, I penned a book entitled The Tree in the Brook, Running from Grace, which will be released in 2024, which featured a character with a powerful whistle. Looking back, I believe the people that hurt me would have never done so if they would have known what I was to become and if I had a confidant. A fish with a friend is a person that you can tell anything to, and they will take action. One of the questions I ask a lot of parents, I'm also a parent, I'm a bonus mom. Um, so one thing I always ask when I'm talking about my book is, do you know your child's safe whistle friend? And if it's not you, is that okay? And I say this because it is crucial to foster this type of relationship with our children and that our children have in order to maintain their emotional well-being. Next slide, please. The restoration narrative. I could have stayed quiet, but I chose to restore. Now I'm rewriting my narrative. Question, favor. You don't have to do it. But next slide, please. May everyone close their eyes for just one moment. I'm gonna do it too. And can you please think about what your restoration looks like? I'm gonna close my eyes too. May everyone open their eyes. And may I have the next slide, please? And if you would like, I'll give you a few moments because we have time. If you would like to take a few minutes to write down what your restoration looks like, because it's very different for everyone. I'll wait a couple minutes, not minutes, but a couple seconds.
Does anyone have questions or comments?
Okay. Yeah, next slide, please.
No, please.
Takeaways. If you want to stay up to date with like new releases, with I'm having like a movie series coming out soon. My book is coming out, so if you want to participate, let me know. Go to experiences.com. Most of all, sound your whistle and do not suffer in silence. I do. Next slide, please. Thank you. You all are the first audience I've ever went into depth with this particular presentation. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. And you in Embrace Beauty podcast is actually a podcast I'm going to have once I slow down a little bit. And that's it. Next slide, please. That's just a trigger warning again. You can go to the next slide. Questions. Does anybody have any questions?
Anyone have questions, or let me see if there's any comments on the chat.
Okay. Hey, hi.
No, I don't see anything.
Me
Any
either.
comments from anyone? I do thank you very much, Ms. Jete. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name.
It's okay. Everyone does. It's all right. You can call me Jay. It's easy.
I kind of would like to comment about the retaliation process and how did you approach that? How did you overcome that? That's kind of very hard at schools nowadays.
Yes. It started with
Especially
my dad.
kind of like growing up, you know, with different names. And I do have actually a research I did, and there's my colleague did actually a research um, about kind of like bullying, and would be interesting. Uh, but thank you again, Ms. Jute. And
Thank you.
if anyone have any comments or questions, it's the time. Thank you again. I do appreciate your
Thank you. Bye now.
with us.